property insurance rates. So many people who have lived here for years just aren't able to afford to live here anymore. Unfortunately, instead of addressing these issues, Governor DeSantis and the Republicans in the Florida legislature have chosen to give tax cuts to corporations and wage culture wars. But to Floridians who are struggling to make these ends meet, know that you have at least one ally in Tallahassee. As your Commissioner of Agriculture and Consumer Services, and with my department overseeing fuel quality in the state of Florida, I'm taking action to help alleviate pain at the pump. Gas prices have been rising as a result of Russia's war on Ukraine and continued supply chain issues caused by a global pandemic. That is why our department issued an emergency rule to help increase our state supply of gasoline products. This rule allows Florida suppliers to utilize additional fuel types to secure a consistent and affordable supply of gas. Technically speaking, federal standards for fuel blends contain gasoline between 9 and 15% of ethanol, which is called E15, has been temporarily lifted. This will allow gasoline retailers to sell the blend typically used in the winter during the summer months, which aids to help increase our fuel supplies and give consumers more choice to get lower prices. We modeled our rule on a waiver issued by the Biden administration and the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, which paved the way for states like ours to take action, allowing the continued use of the E15. At the current price, E15 can save a family 10 cents per gallon on gas on average, and many stores sell E15 at the general greater discount, which could help add up to real savings for many of our Florida families. It will also reduce our dependency on foreign oil, which I have been strongly advocating for. I've even introduced a clean energy plan for our state that would get us to 100% renewable by 2050. But once again, Republicans in Tallahassee refused to even hold one hearing on that bill. My office has continued to crack down on gas skimmers and other criminals who take advantage of Floridians at the pump. We are also working to ensure that fuel pumps are accurately calibrated so the consumers are getting exactly what they are paying for. We need to do everything we can to help Florida save money and to make sure that our Floridians that are living here in our state can still have a quality way of life, and to make sure that we are lowering the cost of living here in our state. And this is one way that my department can help to do that while Tallahassee Republicans continue to turn a blind eye to the unaffordable costs of living here in our state, which is impacting Florida families across it. Thank you for being here today, and to the consumers across our state, know that this is just one of our tools that we're going to continue to use to help our Florida families. So thank you for your time, and I will take questions.
When does this rule go into effect?
Immediately.
So families will start seeing a 10% discount on the pumps?
So what happens is that you'll be able to, gas stations, if you see some of the grades of the different gas, that they'll be able to use a different summer blend, which is called the E15. And so if a gas station is using this blend, that specific gas will be 10 cents lower than what is potentially at the pump. Yes.
Do consumers have to rely on the gas stations to honor the lower costs?
So what would happen is, yes, partly, but that's part of our job. We make sure that if they're actually using this E15 grade, it is cheaper. And so if they jack up the prices, that's price gouging. And so we will be making sure, along with the Attorney General, that if they're in fact using the E15 gas, that it is lower cost and that is actually being implemented at the pumps.
Can you discuss, should people have any concern using E10? I know you're not supposed to use, or E15 on like small, your lawnmower and stuff like that, but for the most part, safer vehicles, you just talked about how people shouldn't be worried about using E15.
Well, I mean, look, E15 is used half the year. So this is not something that they're not used to putting into their cars. What this is doing is because we change blends depending on the climate and to see the heat and how that reacts to the temperature. So what this is doing is just extending that time period of which we can be able to use E15 before going to complete summer blends. is what it is. So you've already been using this on your cars. If you've already been doing that throughout the entire year, it's no different.
The companies have to gear up to make additional gas like this, or is this something they already have made?
So it's just releasing of the barrels. And so at this point, it's us. EPA did the original waiver and allowing this to happen. And so now we're doing it here in the state of Florida. And so the barrels are already there. It's now up to the gas stations to, of course, go and pull those barrels and get them filled here.
Can you talk about how this directly impacts, Floridians, but also local businesses who are struggling, maybe those that rely on delivery services?
Absolutely. I mean, the impact across the entire supply chain. I mean, I'm hearing that from agriculture, that we're seeing increase in costs of agriculture production because of transportation costs, which is seeing the increase because of the gas tax, because of gas. And so if you're able to reduce the cost of gas, the trickle down impact is going to be on consumer products like food.
How long will this last? How long is the lift?
So EPA only has jurisdiction to do it every 20 days. And so it went into effect May 1st from the EPA, and so it's up until May 20th. There is conversations about extending it another 20 days. Our rule kind of coincides with the EPA's, and so we have said that we will, in essence, if the continuation happens from the EPA side, whenever their waiver expires, our waiver will expire with it. But if there's an extension, we extend with it. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.